Okay, so this happened. um, Jonathan ended up not buying my keyboard, so I got to give him his money back. He's being nice about it. He's kind of like giving me a rental cost, so I'm not having to give him like the full amount back that we had originally agreed to. So that's nice. But now, not pictured. Got to figure out where this is going to go. Really got to figure out where this is going to go. So yeah, I kind of have a feeling like how to rejigger this, but right now plan A is to just kind of clear the deck down here and just kind of start over. I just got the Proteus all figured out and everything so that there was room for everything all on the desktop and it was all nice looking, and now I'm turning into some kind of synthesist. And actually, once I got rid of it, I found a way to make this a viable part of the setup, to use it with the beat step and stuff, and I learned things about the beat step I didn't know. So, yeah. Okay, Mom, clean my room. Good grief. That stuff. Good God. All right. Not pictured. Somewhere under that mess is my other drum machine, which may yet have another life ahead of it. And then there's that whole bracket. All right, here's how it's coming along. Still a wiry mess, but things seem reasonably rejiggered. I've got a little less mess on the floor. So the Tascam, I don't record all day every day, so I don't need it 24/7 like set up ready to go. So that's something I kind of move down the priority chain here. And then the Momix, it's funny, I just answered a comment the other day about the relevance of this thing, and it's very relevant. I do use it. I just haven't been posting anything on this channel lately that involves using it, but I do use it. I've switched to this line mixer just because this got filled up real fast, and after a while it's like I wanted a dedicated thing for just this situation. Let me widen out a little bit. There we go. So it's a work in progress. Ooh, that's neat. These aren't even like connected to each other. They were like beeping at the same rate. Wow, that's neat. But anyhow, this is going to need another piece of equipment to talk to all this. So it's not going to be anytime soon. It looks like the only viable equipment that I'm finding on Amazon or such like ships from China and it'll get here when it gets here kind of situation. So I don't feel the need to like stretch down to my last bottom dollar to get it right this exact minute. I may regret that later. But to be fair, this wasn't here 24 hours ago, so I can't say it's a super urgent part of the setup. But now that it's back, I'd like it to be in the mix. The thing with the Proteus, I haven't really talked about it yet because I haven't done like a formal video, but it's 192 preset sounds, more or less. They are very dated, which I knew that. I mean, the same could be said for this about being super dated. Between the two, this blows away this sonically. It's amazing. So I plugged this into this, thinking, okay, well, I'll just kind of use this as a poor man's key step. Which, how poor do you have to be if you need a poor man's key step? But here we are. And it's so funny because the piano sound on this thing is just absolute garbage, which, again, that's not why I bought it. But to plug it into this with the sound it's got, it's just night and day difference. So it's funny because this was helping me out with some songwriting, because it was giving me that more of a realistic piano sound. It was helping me get the sound I was trying to comprehend musically. Now this is back, and it's like, oh yeah, this is like riding a bike. Just, I love the full-size keys compared to this, and then the sound is better just out of the box than that. So right now, this minute, what I would probably do is put this back on eBay and then get a Keystep 37, I think. Although really at that point, if I'm doing that, I don't know why I wouldn't get the Keystep Pro. Now the thing with the BeatStep, speaking of, and this is old news for a lot of people that are more into this, but it was new to me. So my big gripe with the BeatStep is that it's in the title, Beat Step, okay? So when you sequence, it's like, okay, it's just dit, dit, dit. And well, what if you need longer notes? Well, it turns out you can make longer notes. You would actually tie these together, and now you got a quarter note. Tie these together, and you got a half note, and so on. So I was doing a sequence where I was doing, here, I'll just simulate it real fast. I was doing like this. So you get dit, 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 and then you tie these, and it's more of a graceful move to the next beat. So it was really nice. And so if you didn't know that about the BeatStep and you're thinking, oh my God, I hate the BeatStep because you can't get long notes out of it, you actually can. You just need to tie it together. One way to do it is to do record, and it's going to do it for you, but if you want to do the hand twiddle the knobs bit and all that like I did last night, then that's what you do, is you tie these together. So that's good to know. I'm not a keyboard player, so not that you'd know that to look at this, but again, this is back because the music director decided he didn't want to buy it after all. So the reason I bought this is because I got rid of this. The money that he gave me for this, I spent on this. So this is very precariously perched on top of the Proteus right now. So I'm fine with it going. I haven't made a 100% decision on it yet. But one thing I'm waiting on is sometime in the next week, I'm going to be getting yet another one of these Dore MIDI boxes. And it's designed to route two inputs together. Right now I tried, let me try to do this gracefully, tried on one of these. And just in case you're thinking of doing the same thing, it's not going to work. Not to say it won't possibly work, but you're going to overload the MIDI circuits real quick. So I had the Volca going, so because I had the drum beat happening, not that you can see it here, because nothing's programmed at the moment, but let's just do all this kind of stuff. So you've got all this, and then you're over here in Sequenceville, and you got all this, as he just randomly matches buttons. And you come over here to this sequencer, and you got all this. And then you try to throw this in, and you're splitting so that this is your input, and this is your input, and you're all going into the Proteus. It's going to, like, basically, it's going to put this on a low priority, and there's like a 20% chance this note's going to even play. And that's just that one note. I really thought, because of the polyphony and the whole shebang, that you could potentially route 16 MIDI things into the Proteus. Your polyphony is going to drop down to 2 if you had 16 things going, but you could technically do it. Well, I thought, oh, well, then what's the harm then in splitting this and the BeatStep into this, and then, by the way, it's also routing to the Volca. Well, it was too much. It couldn't handle it. And that was when I got it to play nice. So if I did an output and split it, it can't handle that at all. It gives that crackly MIDI error that you screwed up horribly. Let me get this zoomed in a little bit so it's not so dark. But if you split in, so I have a beat step in and the crap Yamaha in, then they can technically work together, but you'd be like trading off one to the other. Like there could be no drum machine. You would just be doing sequence notes back and forth that could supposedly coexist. But until that combiner or MIDI merge box gets here, it's like there's just no point. If I do get rid of this, see, part of me thinks that, okay, the key step 37 has the arpeggiation and stuff. It would just be a single MIDI out, as far as like it wouldn't be the brainchild of the operation. It would just be kind of like giving an assist. But that's kind of what this would have been doing anyway, was the plan. I wanted something so that if I really was doing, because I'm Jonathan Wass apparently, if I really was doing some kind of Dawless jam situation, I wanted some keys available to play live while everything else is doing its sequency business. And that's technically possible with this, but again, I would need that MIDI merge thing to get here. So I'm kind of at an impasse right now, or kind of at a decision point. There's no urgency to get rid of this, but there's no urgency to keep it either with this back. So I got definite first world problems over here in the studio land. But one thing at a time. At any rate, I really haven't been recording anything on the Tascam. I haven't been recording anything for the channel. I haven't even been doing the Sunday recording stuff just because I just really haven't been happy with the setup as to how to do all that anymore. Things changed a long time ago when they moved the furniture around, and it's just very difficult to get like decent recordings. So I just kind of stopped doing it. So I've kind of thrown in a lot of my effort into this stuff, clearly. But I invested in a better phone holder because I do my bass practice off this phone. I've got Moises, the app that strips, well, anything you want out of the song, but I strip bass out specifically, route it to the mixer, one of these. So it's either when I'm doing a YouTube cover video or here if I'm just practicing here. Someday the argument can be made like, well, why don't I just get like a better mixer just overall? And that could be a thing. But I'm also trying to do everything on this desk, and I don't know how viable that is anymore, you know, like I'm starting to get it like more about why people have this massive setup on their wall of just nothing but whatever they're screwing around with. Or they get some kind of like, you know, reclaimed oak desk or something and put some succulents and some anime toys in front of their, or flanking their apparatus and do some sort of jam video on that. That seems to be the extent of it. the swing between like, you know, either wall equipment or succulents. But anyway, this is kind of a weird, rambly video. I get it. Not everybody's cup of tea, but if you're just interested in behind the scenes and just what kind of a mess I've got on my hands here, then here it is. Anyway, keep learning, keep playing, and I'll catch you in the next video.